Saul called for David to come and do what? Play his instrument, to create praise on an instrument. And the praise that he created caused the tormenting spirits to leave him. Prayer is a weapon. Praise is a weapon. Worship is a weapon. Now, I want you to notice something about prayer, praise, and worship. All three of them change an atmosphere. All three of them change an atmosphere. Everything happens in an atmosphere. Stuff starts happening in the atmosphere. Start praying. Go to, if you have to leave out of your room, go to the bathroom at work and start invoking his presence. Because prayer will change the atmosphere. Praise will change the atmosphere. Praise will change the atmosphere. It's a powerful weapon. Worship will change the atmosphere because God inhabits the praises of his people. Prayer, praise, and worship, powerful weapons. So if the devil has permeated the atmosphere, you use the weapon of prayer, praise, and worship. Use the stone of prayer, use the stone of praise, use the stone of worship. You have to be very prayerful and ask God, God, which stone do I use in this case? Which stone do I use? And the fourth stone that we use is our testimony. They overcame the devil by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of the testimony. Your testimony has power in it. Your testimony can withstand the devil. You use your testimony because the devil took a snapshot of you right in the midst of your sin. But the good news is that the moment that a picture is taken, it is history. So when your testimony comes forth, your testimony is, that is no longer who I am. I am no longer that man. I am no longer that woman. That is what I used to be. I have overcome that by the word of my testimony, the blood of the Lamb here. So it's our testimony that gives us staying power so that we are not confused in our identity. You have to know your testimony of who you are. If God healed you and the devil brings a symptom of that sickness back in your life, give him your testimony. With his stripes I was healed. I am healed. I am healed. What are you trying to bring back on me, devil? I have been distinctly healed of that. You can take that symptom right back where it came from because I am healed. A symptom is a temptation to reclaim a condition for which God has already healed you. So use your testimony. I'm healed by his stripes. With his stripes, I am healed. Use your testimony. I am delivered. That's not who I am. I am not what I did. That's my history, not my destiny. You overcome by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of your testimony. Never, ever downplay the power of your testimony of what God has done to you, in you, and through you. Because your testimony not only reinforces God's redemptive work in your life, it also strengthens other people who are shaky in their faith. Because when they see that God did it for you, now you realize God is not a respecter of person. God, and if they called on you and you delivered their children, if I call on you, you'll deliver mine. And so it is the word of your testimony that becomes a powerful weapon to say it is done. You see, when you understand your testimony, you remember that lady that was bent over for 18 long years? And Jesus simply asked a question: ought not this daughter of Abraham be loosed from her infirmity? And when Jesus spoke to her, he didn't do any hocus pocus. He didn't get any special ointment and put it on her. He simply gave her the testimony of what God had already done. He said, woman, thou art loosed. You're already loosed. It was a revelation. When she heard the declaration that she was loosed, then the image of her being bound took flight. And she who was bent over and could not lift herself up in any wise because she was bound by a concept, a self-concept of who she was. But Jesus said, sweetheart, you're a daughter of Abraham. You're already loosed. You were loosed in Abraham. You are already loosed. And he gave her that information. It set her free. You can walk in something and not know the truth, and you will be bent over all of your life. A derelict in Chicago, digging around in a dumpster, found a unique belt out of the trash, and he used it to hold up his oversized pants. They found him a few weeks later, dead of dehydration from lack of food and water. And around his waist, in this special belt, it was a money belt that had $23,000 in cash. And here he was, hungry, and died with $23,000 holding his pants up, but he didn't know it. Had somebody informed him, he would have been able to lift himself up. He would have been able to be set free. How many people do you know are walking around with potential around them, and they won't even use it and die starving, and they had the ability? The belt is symbolic of truth. Your loins gird about with truth. He didn't even realize truth that was around him, and the truth could have set him free. It was truth that set this woman free. Woman, thou art loosed. He didn't even do anything but just announce what already was. She didn't know what already was. I mean, if somebody had locked you in a prison cell and you had rattled the doors and couldn't get it open, and then somebody sneaked by and unlocked the door but kept the door closed, you would assume that the door is still locked. And you wouldn't even rattle the door. You wouldn't even try to open the door because you assume that it's locked, because nobody ever told you that it's open. Nobody ever told you that it was loosed. And so you will live an existence as though it is still locked. And I say that there are people who are locked behind open doors. There really are. You'd be surprised. And the fifth thing is the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus. It is the blood, the blood, the blood. There are some things I can't explain it. It may not be sophisticated. I don't know how to explain it. But there's a power in the blood of Jesus, a redemptive power. There's something that was done in Jesus' blood. It may be old-fashioned, but when the old saints used to sing, there is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. When they began to talk about the power of the blood of Jesus, there is power, delivering power, saving power. There's incredible power in the blood of Jesus. That is an incredible weapon for your life, to be able to use the blood of Jesus. And sometimes when you don't know what to do, when demonic stuff comes on your life, just plead the blood, plead the blood. Plead the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood, the blood of Jesus. Plead the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus over my mind, over my body, over my spirit. Plead the blood over your household. You got to plead the blood. It's the blood of the Lamb that saved the house. Everybody in the house got saved because the blood of the Lamb was on the house. Plead the blood over your house. When your children are acting like they have lost their minds, plead the blood. Plead the blood. And here's what I'll say to you. Whatever you want to see manifested in your life 10 years from now, you must plant seed for it right now. Whatever you want to see manifested 10 years from now, you must plant seed for it right now. And the best time to plant seeds for a tree was 10 years ago. The best time to plant seeds for a tree was 10 years ago. But the next best time to plant seeds for a tree is right now. No matter how you look at it, the next best time to plant seeds for a tree is right now. And as a part of conquering what's king in your life, I want you to realize that that means praying for and forgiving your enemies. Jesus taught us to love our enemies and do good to them who hate us. He taught us to bless them that curse us and pray for those who despitefully use us. Luke chapter 6, verse 27 and 28. And let me say this to you. Resentment and bitterness are blockade number one of our spiritual power. They are blockade number one of our spiritual power, resentment and bitterness. That's why Jesus tells us that whenever you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. That's why we do that, because it is the number one, in fact, it's the only hindrance that Jesus ever mentions to faith or to your prayer life. He had just said to them, in Mark 11:24, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. And in the next verse, he said, and when you stand praying, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father also in heaven may forgive your trespasses. And then I want you to notice what Peter said concerning prayers being blocked. He talked about it in 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker or the more delicate vessel.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Until next time, God bless you.